Hello and welcome inside Chrysler Center for another presentation of WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan basketball. I'm Alex Drain, joined by Nick Hornberg. Max Cohen will be in the second half for Michigan, number 2 in the country, 12-0 on the season, hosting the Binghamton Bearcats, entering this game at 4-9. Just about a minute or so until tip-off. What are you looking for most in this game?
Well, I want to see Michigan play awake. They've struggled out of the gate a couple games previous, first against Western Michigan and then against Air Force before regaining control of the game in the second half. I want to see a full effort here. They have an opportunity to close a phenomenal 2018 where they've gone 33-5, an opportunity to stretch that to 34 wins in 39 games in a full calendar year, and the opportunity to take an undefeated record into conference play starting in a couple days against Penn State. But really the biggest key here is just getting out, controlling the game early, and dominating from start to finish.
Yeah, Binghamton enters this game in a bit of a tough spot this season at just 4-9. They are riding high, though, with a bit of momentum because of a big thrilling win over LIU Brooklyn in their most recent game. They won that one 68-67, a wild finish that made SportsCenter. J.C. Show, one of their forwards, made a free throw, then had to intentionally miss the second, out of bounds off LIU Brooklyn. And Binghamton inbounded, got the ball to Show, and he hit the three at the buzzer. Pretty wild game that was.
That's a pretty hard play to pull off at the end of the game. Oftentimes necessary, but very rarely is it successfully pulled off.
So here we go. Waiting for the opening tip-off between these two teams. Chancellor Barnard is going to be doing the tip-off against John Teskey. That's a height difference of 9 inches between the 6'4" Barnard and the 7'1" Teskey. This is a very undersized team. An interesting choice by Binghamton to have Barnard do it and not the 6'9" Caleb Stewart. Teskey wins the tip-off. Michigan wearing the home whites. Simpson goes to the corner to Matthews, back to Simpson, gets a bit of a screen. Teskey to Poole, got it! Open three, and Michigan hits their first bucket of the game to take an early 3-0 lead. Binghamton wearing green uniforms, their away colors. Barnard with the basketball. Gets it around to Everson Davis. He drives inside, then they try to get it around, and there's an open three, and it's through. Nice shot there for Caleb Stewart. At 6'9", he's conventionally their center, as Michigan had some trouble inbounding the ball before getting it to Poole. Stewart attempts a lot of threes, doesn't make a high percentage, but he hit that one. Binghamton not a big offensive team, so perhaps some good confidence to get their opening shot to fall. Simpson goes inside to Brisdakis in the key, finds Poole in the corner. He's going to drive inside, kick it out to Iggy. Open look, and he makes that one. So Michigan 2 for 2 from 3 to start the game.
And that's important right there. Michigan really struggling to get the shots to fall against Air Force last week, especially early on.
So Binghamton outside Barnard. They continue to cycle around, get it to Sam Sessoms. He, freshman, is the best player on the team. Sessoms tries to drive inside. Contact by both Simpson and Teskey. We'll see who the foul goes on.
And the foul is charged to Teskey right there. That first bucket right there by the Bearcats, a little bit anomalous. Michigan so far this season has been absolutely fantastic at preventing open looks.
So they sub Austin Davis on for Teskey. Beeline going with his usual philosophy of immediately yanking a starter after the first foul. Sessoms has to try to kick it inside. Davis, an awkward step-back jumper off the mark. Rebound pulled down, and Michigan comes quickly up the court, leading 6-3. Simpson to Poole, inside to Austin Davis. He's got a big height advantage inside, decides not to use it. Simpson outside, guarded by Sessoms, going to get a small screen from Davis. Now Poole the open three, and he makes that one. A fall-away three with a hand in his face, and Jordan Poole knocks it down. Michigan 3 for 3 from beyond the arc to start the game, and they lead 9-3, 17:35 to go in the first half. Sessoms dribbles around, gets switched on to Matthews, then around to Stewart. Outside hands it off to Davis, back to Sessoms. He's on Matthews. He's going to try to use that advantage, and his step back three is off the mark. Rebound by Simpson. Gets it to Charles Matthews. Michigan's got a height advantage at pretty much every position in the game today. Binghamton very undersized, starting 4 guys 6'4" or under. There's a little open look for Matthews, just off the mark. Rebound grab by J.C. Show. Hands it off to Davis, back to Sessoms. Guarded by Simpson, now passes it around to Barnard. Back to J.C. Show, guarded by Ignas Brzdakis. 10 on the shot clock. Good defense from Brzdakis to stay in front of Show. 7 on the shot clock. Davis has got to hurry. He drives inside, tries to go around Poole, throws up that shot off the mark, out of bounds. They say off Michigan, but it didn't hit the rim, so there's just 1 on the shot clock.
Well, Charles Matthews a little unlucky right there with that mid-range jumper. Really, what's really the biggest measure of progress for him this season has been his shooting. Particularly, he's found that mid-range jumper to be a strength.
Sessoms tried to get it into Show. He caught the inbounds pass, but there's just not enough time on the shot clock to get a shot up. The only opportunity for Binghamton would have been a tip-in attempt. So they shot clock violation, turn it over. Simpson brings it up. And Brzdakis open look at the key and missed that one badly. Wide to the right. Sessoms with the rebound. Show to Sessoms. Watched by Poole. Crossover, tries to go inside, now hands it off to Show. His open look from 3. That one didn't hit any rim. And Brzdakis grabs it down. He comes galloping up, gives it to Matthews inside. Little Euro step and off the heel. Rebound by Sessoms. He drives inside around, and his layup off the mark. Davis and Brzdakis had trouble corralling the rebound. It's eventually Iggy who comes down with it. Iggy drives inside. His little floater off the mark, and now here comes an opportunity in transition for Binghamton, and lays it in. Everson Davis.
It's a little bit odd here early for Michigan with that size advantage that you've talked about. Michigan, theoretically, their greatest strength in this game should be in the paint. So far, all their shots from beyond the arc have fallen, but inside the arc, they're settling for some bad looks.
There's a jinx as Poole misses the 3, and Matthews with an easy lay-in opportunity, and he missed that one. Still 9-5 Michigan, approaching 15 minutes. Michigan 3 for 4 from beyond the arc, 0 for 4 on 2s. Stewart tries to drive inside. Good defense from Poole, but he lays it in. 9-7 Binghamton. Cuts the deficit to just 2. Brzdakis off the mark inside. Man, oh man. Here comes Sessoms the other way. He's going to try to get around Simpson, and they're going to call a foul on the Michigan point guard.
And see, that right there is really something that Michigan so far in this game has largely been tentative in the paint. Ignas Brzdakis outside the protected area and has the ability to drive straight past Barnard and go straight to the rim. Instead, he opts for the little bit of for about the 8-foot runner, which is a very hard shot to make and substantially harder than just driving to the hoop for the layup, which Brzdakis has proven more than capable of doing, particularly against smaller defenders. And that's the second or third time Michigan settled for a shot like that instead of driving. And once again, yet another miss.
Well, the interesting thing we have to say is that Binghamton is playing a bit of a zone, and they're ceding the key, but Michigan just doesn't know what to do with it right now. We got the Meyer shootout challenge here. The old layup, free throw, and three-pointer challenge. Our contestant got the layup. His first free throw is off the mark. Second one rattles around and out. Still got 20 seconds to make both. Now he makes that one. Setting up from 3. He's got 15 seconds to make a three-pointer. His first one's off the mark. His second one, oh, it goes. A little short off the front iron, but then it fell.
He's got for his height, he has a bit of a low shot trajectory, but his motion is good, and the result was there.
I'm still remembering the game a few weeks back when the guy in the Grinch suit made all 3 on his first attempts and was done. That was incredible. Michigan leads Binghamton 9-7, 14:34 remaining in this first half.
However, Michigan has not scored in the last 3 minutes and 18 seconds with 0 of their last 7 shot attempts after starting out 3 for 3 from the field and 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, for that matter.
Yeah, it was a hot start for Michigan. They came out and made all their shots right away, and then after that, they've had some trouble figuring out what to do.
Well, Michigan, once, as you said before, has the size advantage. They theoretically should be more than capable of bullying the Bearcats down low in the paint. And so far, Michigan, particularly Brazdeikis, has largely been reluctant to take Binghamton's defenders straight to the hoop.
Well, it's worth noting that of the 6 misses on 2s, all of them are from Matthews or Brazdeikis. Poole 2 for 3 from outside, but he hasn't attempted a 2. Back to the game. Inside look for Caleb Stewart, and that one is just off the mark. Michigan brings it up. Poole in transition. They've subbed Eli Brooks onto the court. Austin Davis still out there. Also Isaiah Livers into this game. Brooks goes around a little screen, now kicks it back out. Brazdeikis in some trouble, finds Brooks. Poole, they cycle it around to Livers. Binghamton doing an excellent job on the perimeter. And they swat that pass out of bounds. Michigan will have 5 on the shot clock upon the inbound.
Well, this time they weren't leaving space there at the key. Really excellent job of those 2 defenders, really in a deeper 2-3 zone right there by the Bearcats, able to keep them inside outside the arc.
Poole inbounds to Davis, who gives it right back to him. Poole has to jack up a 3 from way away, and that one gets no rim, and now we might have had a foul underneath on Binghamton.
A little bit of ambiguity there. The refs deliberating over there, and no foul called. It will be Binghamton basketball.
So they count the shot clock violation, as you may normally expect. So up come the Bearcats, setting up their offense, which hasn't been great in the half court, but they got some transition buckets, and one made 3 on their first possession. Everson Davis tried to get it down low. Davis got a hand in there and swatted it away, but Binghamton rekindles. Still in trouble. 5 on the shot clock. That 3, and it goes. Another open look for Caleb Stewart, who entered at just 34%. And he's 2 for 2 to start this game, and Binghamton with a 10-9 lead 7 minutes in. Michigan setting up in the half court. Brazdeikis down low to Austin Davis, and he does not have the best hands of all time, and that pass was bobbled way up in the air. Binghamton grabs it down, and up come the Bearcats. Try to get it inside, and it just goes out of bounds off the hands of Richard Caldwell. Michigan will take over. Matthews back into the game for Austin Davis, which means it's now the small ball lineup for the Wolverines.
Well, so far it's looking a bit like the Air Force game last week. Michigan so far in this game looks asleep. Binghamton looks like they came ready to play with a bit of full court pressure, especially early on. Michigan so far just doesn't appear particularly motivated to create easier shots.
And Eli Brooks had an open look in the key. He missed that one. Michigan just can't buy a shot from inside. They are now 0 for 7 on 2s in the first 7.5 minutes. Sessoms with the ball outside. He gives it off to Caldwell. Now around to Timmy Rose. They're playing essentially a 2-point guard look, as Rose is normally the backup point guard for Sessoms. Drive inside for Sessoms, and there's a reach-in foul on the Wolverines, who have committed 3 fouls, none on Binghamton so far.
Yeah, Binghamton now on a 7-0 run in the last 3 minutes and 22 seconds.
Michigan has not scored in 5.5 minutes. Sessoms will go to the line. They say it was a shooting foul, and his first one pops out. He's only a 63% free throw shooter. The team, 63.9%. Chancellor Barnard checks back in, and they take J.C. Show out of the game. His second one rims down. So 11-9 Binghamton. 12 minutes to go in the first half. Brooks dribbles it up. Poole outside, finds Brooks, open for three. Off the mark, but Livers tips it around. Brisdakis grabs the offensive rebound. He finds Brooks outside, passes it to a wide open Poole, and he knocks it down.
And there we go, Jordan Poole really proving to be the hot shooter so far today. Now 3 for 4 from the field, all 4 shots from beyond the arc.
Poole now with 9 of Michigan's 12, all 12 points coming on three-pointers. 4 three-pointers made for Michigan. Sessoms guarded by Brooks. He gets a little bit of room and then tries to pass it. They say out of bounds off the Wolverines. So we go to the under 12 timeout. Michigan 12, Binghamton 11. Wolverines shooting just 31% from the field, but 67% from three.
Well, Michigan once again not really playing as aggressive as really they could. So far, Binghamton in a lot of cases leaving space in the paint for Michigan to move into, and leaving men under the rim. However, with Michigan's size advantage, it should be relatively simple. John Teskey taking an early foul and going off probably has not helped. However, with the size advantage held by Brazdeikis and Austin Davis, really getting in the paint should not be the struggle that it's been so far, really through almost half of the first half here for Michigan. And particularly Charles Matthews and Eli Brooks really struggling, fighting their shots so far early today, despite the fact from their primary strength so far this season have been shooting from the mid-range, not falling the same way it has for much of the season.
Well, it is worth noting that this is not totally unexpected in terms of struggling in these break games. Just yesterday, Big Ten had a lot of issues. Ohio State was struggling in the first half against High Point. Wisconsin lost to Western Kentucky. Illinois dropped a game as well. So this is not the easy point in the season. It's hard to maintain focus.
Well, be that as it may, it is a game against a weak opponent. You and I were talking about this. You said Binghamton is 338th in offensive KenPom rankings. Really, I would argue to a certain degree, a lot of these less difficult non-conference games, Western Michigan, Air Force, and Binghamton, really serving as insurance against potential lack of focus. Michigan just so far, for long stretches, looks like they're just not ready to play.
Well, it's also they just don't look like they are decisive enough that they know what they want to do on the offensive end. It'll be Binghamton ball inbounding with 9 on the shot clock. .24 to go in the first half. Sam Sessoms will do the inbounding, and he gets it into Richard Caldwell. Sessoms gets it back, 5 on the shot clock, tries to drive inside, then kick it back out. 2 seconds, 1, jacking up a 3, and hitting it is Chancellor Barnard. With 1 on the shot clock and a ball rolling away from him, he just had to scoop it up and heave it, and he knocked it down. Matthews gets baseline, Livers to the hoop, and he throws it down. 14 all.
And there it is right there. You see Isaiah Livers, now the first one to really take the ball into the protected area and to the rim going up, and they were never going to stop him.
That ball almost thrown away. Stewart had to get it back. Matthews tips the pass inside away. Michigan on the fast break the other direction. Brisdakis kicks it out. Brooks from the corner. Off the mark. Knocked around, and then the rebound corralled by Barnard. Bearcats have the ball and just slowing it down. Trying to set up their offense in the half court. Sessoms drives inside his floater off the mark. Poole grabs the rebound. Michigan trying to get something going in transition, but the Bearcats have gotten back well in this contest. Poole inside. Matthews open look. Oh boy. Missed that one by a mile. I think we have a foul underneath on Binghamton. Looks like it's going to go against J.C. Shao.
And really an example right there. One of the more remarkable transformations from last season to this season is Isaiah Livers. Was a great player off the bench early last season before a starter who barely played any minutes. Really now he's gotten a lot faster, a lot more athletic in the offseason, and really has become probably their or without question their most valuable player off the bench.
Simpson inbounded it to Livers, baseline. He's in some trouble. Gets it to Teskey. Open look, and he knocks it down. Brisdakis and Matthews have missed a bunch of shots from the free throw line. But Teskey puts it in as he's back out onto the court after sustaining his first foul very early in the contest and immediately being yanked. Outside, Barnard hands it off to Sessoms, who tries to drive inside, and there's an easy lay-in. That's an issue that Michigan's had this December, and they've been trying to work on, is you have the help coming from Teskey and leaving a man wide open inside. Simpson dribbles in, puts on the brakes, hands it off. Teskey, Livers, Simpson. He's going to dribble in, tries to kick. Livers, Poole. Nice pump fake, open look from three, and he knocks it in.
And Jordan Poole now 4 for 5 from beyond the arc.
He's carrying the load today for the Michigan offense. Sessoms tries to flip inside, and then Matthews takes it away. Had trouble corralling it on the baseline, but just managed to get it in. And then we got a pass out of bounds off Michigan. That's a bad call, and the referees are going to confer. They say to Binghamton, that pretty clearly went off the Binghamton defender's hand in down low.
Well, I think the call is that it did go off J.C. Shao's hand. However, I think they may be calling that after that it was tipped off John Teskey.
That would have to be the only logical call because it pretty clearly changed directions when it went past the Binghamton players. The Bearcats take back over as Michigan turns it over. Driving inside, nice little lay-in off the window there from Chancellor Barnard. And it's 19-18. Poole to Simpson. They're just passing it around outside. They go to Teskey in, looking for Matthews, and he throws it down.
And once again, right there, Binghamton not putting up much of a fight under the rim. Charles Matthews, backdoor cut, nobody marks him. Easy pass, easy lay-in.
Well, Binghamton defense has been in zone most of the half. Michigan's been finally able to slice it open through passing these last couple possessions. Sessoms goes right around Teskey. He tries to lay it in, cannot, and so Simpson leads the fast break to Poole outside. Now he's going to dribble in, throw on the brakes, kick to Livers, who is harassed. Now he drives inside, lays it up, count it, and a foul.
And right there, excellent take by Jordan Poole, passing up the contested three-point shot, opting to drive in. That's something that he's really improved on from last season to this season. Even as his shooting has gotten better, his decision-making also improved, opting to drive in there to the paint, drawing two defenders away, kicking it back out to Livers, and Livers giving himself some space for the drive.
So we hit the under 8 timeout. Michigan 23, Binghamton 18.
It's now time for the Stump Hunt of the game. Stump Hunt is moving to Michigan basketball season ticket holders and some of the best seats in the house as a thank you for their support. We hope you enjoy your new view. And remember, the next Stop your favorite grade seat 10 to StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of Michigan Athletics.
7:28 remaining in the first half, 23-18. Michigan. The Wolverines have gotten up to 45% from the field, but Binghamton at 47%. They've hit some tough threes, but really they've been very good at penetrating.
Yeah, Michigan's defense not really up quite where you want it to be, and something. And looking like you were correct, and you said earlier, break games, playing focused or unfocused, and really so far with the defending, they have the physical advantage. And positionally they've been all right. A lot of it is the mental thing, which is a little bit scary to think about. This game is really more than anything want it to serve as a tune-up, get some younger players in the second half before conference season starts, and the first 2 games of the full conference season. I know they played a couple games already, but the full conference season gets underway early January. First Penn State next week, and then Penn State later this week, and then Indiana at the weekend. Those will still count as break games. Be interesting to see how the Wolverines address those next 2 games and how focused they are.
It's another sellout here at Chrysler Center.
Indeed. Chrysler really so far this season with the Michigan's basketball team delivering very strong start to the season. As we've said, they are now 12-0 with an opportunity to go 13-0 and an opportunity to go 35-5 in the year 2018. Really, the fans have done an excellent job of coming out and supporting their team this year. I know Michigan has always and will likely always be considered to be a football school. Basketball support for long stretches of time has been lacking, but really so far the fans in Ann Arbor really coming out to see their team this year.
Yeah, it's the 6th straight sellout, and the next 2 home games are also sold out. Isaiah Livers steps to the line. He's a 78.6% free throw shooter entering the game, and that one rattles around and pops out. Matthews attempting to get the rebound but could not, so Michigan misses their first free throw attempt of the game. Simpson almost got a strip there off Timmy Rose. Now Rose drives baseline again, kicks it out. Stewart tries to go around Matthews, throws up a tough look, and Teskey grabs it down, throw up the court to Poole underneath. Alley-oop. Oh, Livers! Jordan Poole to Isaiah Livers, alley-oop there. Masterful. Binghamton brings it up, now in their largest deficit of the game, 25-18. Stewart outside trying to work on Matthews once again, backing down. Matthews stripped him out of bounds, off Stewart. Michigan takes over.
And really right there, Michigan now a 6-0 run in the last 125. 5 of their last 5 from field goals. Now they're from the field. Now they're really getting into the game. And you saw earlier the interplay between Jordan Poole and Isaiah Livers, really something to watch. Poole, an excellent long pass there down the court to Jordan Poole. Another excellent decision to pass up that layup as it was contested, putting it up in the air for Isaiah Livers, running alongside him. Great hustle play there by Livers to go up and get the points.
Simpson dribbles inside, hands it off to Teskey, gives it right back to him. He kicks, corner, Jordan Poole rattles around, couldn't quite go home. Brisdakis looked like he had the offensive rebound secured and then fumbled it away. J.C. Shaw brings it up, and then a strip by Simpson. Poole gets it, and he tried to get it up to Simpson in transition, but a quick foul committed by Davis.
And right there you saw it's really the second time in the last minute or so that Michigan has appeared to have an offensive rebound and ultimately not able to keep it under control, something they're going to have to address there. Brisdakis looked like he had that. As you said, he had 2 hands on the ball before fumbling it away. Matthews was the first one to get to the ball after Isaiah Livers missed that free throw, but ultimately not able to keep it.
Poole goes quickly inside to Brisdakis and tipped around, going to go out of bounds off Binghamton as he missed yet another look inside. Brisdakis just really struggling in terms of being aggressive and trying to get to the hole.
Yeah, it's puzzling. Brasdeikis really has not had that great of a month of December, really since South Carolina on the 8th. And really, so far, he drilled that first three, really struggled since.
Teskey, an open look, left it way short as it just barely grazed the front iron. Up come the Bearcats. That is an awkward-looking fadeaway from Shao. Simpson dribbles up with it on the perimeter, being harassed. Now he cuts inside, throws on the brakes to Matthews. And Poole settles the troops down. He's going to do a pull-up three off the mark. And another rebound for Chancellor Barnard.
Well, Jordan Poole getting a little bit too ambitious there. A contested shot, a hand in his face.
Sessoms try to get it inside, and a little hook shot there by Chancellor Barnard. Working on Teskey, and he was able to just run right by him. Simpson tried to find Brasdeikis, tipped out of bounds off Binghamton. Their hands have been very active in cutting off the passing lanes.
And really, that's how you shut down a John Beeline offense. Beeline's offense largely on patient passing, open lanes, and largely taking down the shot clock, generating the best look possible. Really taking away the passing lanes. Binghamton has done an excellent job of shutting down Michigan's offense.
Yeah, there it is again. Awkward inbound play to Teskey, and he throws it away. Now baseline, easy lay-in there for Caleb Stewart. Now it's back to 25-22, a quick 4-0 run for Binghamton. Michigan 0 for their last 4 on field goals. Poole inside, Teskey, easy look, oh boy. And he missed the easy lay-in. That one goes out of bounds off Teskey's foot.
And Teskey really had a dreadful start to the first half. Teskey, they're taking the quick foul, having to get yanked off. This is maybe a one flaw for John Beeline's auto bench rule, in that Teskey never really able to settle himself into the game. He gets yanked so quickly, and so far he has yet to really generate anything.
Sam Sessoms pass, now he gets it back, drives inside Teskey, a nice block there to deny the lay-in. Michigan brings it up, Matthews with the ball. Still just a 3-point lead. They go inside. Teskey open look and off the heel. And there's a rebound for Binghamton. Everson Davis coming up the court quickly, throws on the brakes. Hands it off to Shao. 3:50 remaining in the first half. Awkward looking hook shot is missed from Barnard, and Simpson throws it up. Brasdeikis inside, lays it up, and lays it in. Nice play in transition there from Simpson to find Brasdeikis.
Yeah, excellent pass there by Simpson. Brasdeikis almost mishandled it, but Teskey earlier missing that shot from about 10 feet away. Really an demonstration, really. Michigan too eager to settle in this game. John Teskey was given a lot of space in front of him in order to drive to the hoop, and he decided to take the low percentage jumper and could not get it to go.
J.C. Shao gets free, and he knocks that one in. Michigan has now allowed Binghamton to shoot 4 of 6 from 3. Poole to Teskey inside. That one is just short, but Matthews manages to corral the offensive rebound. Baseline open look, and he knocks that one down.
And there, Charles Matthews making a mid-range shot that really he's established much of his scoring this season on.
2:43 to play in the first half, 29-25, Michigan on top. Sessoms look, and he knocks it in.
And really, Binghamton, after not starting the season well, really, or not starting the game well shooting, really has moved into the game with a field goal percentage of 48%, and as you said, 4 for 6 from beyond the arc.
Simpson inside, Brasdeikis lays it up and lays it in. 31-27. Shao manages to get it to Stewart, guarded by Matthews, and they cycle it around Barnard to Sessoms. Double team for a split second. Now he kicks outside, try to drive in. That lay-in off the mark by Davis. Rebound from Brasdeikis. He tries to go around and then gets stripped. Another turnover for Michigan, who now has 5 of those in this game. Shao to Stewart. He's going to look for 3. That one's off the mark. Poole grabs the rebound. 90 seconds to go in the first half. Finds Simpson, who's going to drive inside to Teskey. Look, and that one drops finally. Teskey's been leaving him short all game, and he left that one short too, but it got a friendly roll to go down to Michigan 33-27. Just about 1 minute remaining in the first half. Sessoms guarded by Simpson. They get it to Shao inside, throws it up, and it goes. Matthews got the inbound initially, then gave it back to Poole. 40 seconds on the game clock, 20 remaining on the shot clock. Poole, Simpson, baseline, Teskey, nice pass inside for Matthews, and he goes up and is fouled. We get the under 4 timeout with 31.5 remaining in the half. Referees have been very content to let these teams play. Not a lot of stoppages.
Yeah, that's only the 7th foul of the game by either team. Michigan, after committing 3 fouls relatively early on in the first half, have locked it down completely. And as you said, Binghamton also largely being let go by the referees. So far, both teams actually playing fairly cleanly. So really the referees not really having a whole lot to do. And really there you saw Teskey leaving another one short. Thankfully he was fortunate such that it was able to go in. But once again, Teskey really so far looks tentative and reluctant to use his size advantage. He is the biggest player on the court in a lot of games this season. He has been, and in a lot of games he will be the biggest player on the court. And so far he just looks reluctant to use that and to get into the paint and do the dirty work necessary.
He's been very timid, too. I mean, he's gotten a lot of open looks in the key, and rather than taking him to the hole, he is just kind of standing there and then shooting a jumper. So we have the Name That Tune with Jailhouse Rock, Elvis Presley. It's definitely
an older one.
Yeah.
It's the first game after Christmas, expecting it to be a little bit of a more festive choice, unless, of course, you do subscribe to the theory that Elvis Presley faked his death and made a cameo appearance in the background of the Christmas movie Home Alone.
.5 to go. In this first half. Michigan 33, Binghamton 29.
And really so far Michigan not getting great production from the 5 position in the first half. John Teskey, we've talked about how timid he looks on the court, and Austin Davis, his primary backup. We've talked before about his lack of offensive upside, and really he badly mishandled the pass in the hole from Ignas Brazdeikis. And really the only production Michigan's had from their big men is when Isaiah Livers has been in and started at the 5 and they've played small.
So Matthews will be at the line. Matthews will have 2 shots. And the first one rattles around and goes. He's gotten his free throw percentage up to 62.3 entering the game.
That is monumentally better than last season.
He's going to attempt his second. That one also not a good looking shot, and that one cannot be coaxed to go down, so Michigan's just up 5, 34-29. Shot clock and game clock basically the same, about a 0.6 difference. Sessoms is just going to hold it. Guarded by Simpson. Now he's going to go around Eli Brooks. Awkward looking shot off the mark. And the horn sounds. So that'll be the end of the first half. Michigan 34, Binghamton 29. Definitely an odd half.
Well, not the first half anybody here in the stadium was hoping for, be it the fans, the team, or head coach John Beilein. Not a great performance at either end of the floor. Michigan giving up a lot of open looks, and a lot of credit to Binghamton. They're largely knocking them down. And on the other end, as we've said, Michigan looks a bit scared to use their size and athletic advantage against the Bearcats. We've talked about John Teskey. We've talked about really playing big has not done well for has not served the Wolverines well so far, even though theoretically it should be working very well for them. Expect to see Michigan play a lot smaller in the second half if John Beilein opts to make adjustments. Expect to see a lot of Isaiah Livers, maybe even see a fair bit of Brandon Johns Jr. going in in this second half.
Well, about 14:30 in this halftime, and we will be back for the second half. Until then, our score, Michigan 34, Binghamton 29.
When students realize that literature of the past is still very much relevant today. Let's hear it for Jennifer McClellan, today's teacher of the game, presented by the University of Michigan School of Education. And now, ladies and gentlemen, performing in every Pistons home game and events all over the world, please welcome today's halftime entertainment. This acrobatic trampoline dunk team has it all with flips, spins, tricks, and more. Let's make some noise for the Detroit Pistons Extreme Team. hear one more time for today's performers, the Detroit Pistons Extreme Team. Fans, be sure to check out the Inside Michigan Basketball Radio Show with Coach Beeline held at Pizza House, or you can tune in live to WWJ 950 AM and WTKA 1050 AM. The next show will be on Monday, January 7th. For more information, visit mgoblue.com. This week's Prairie Farm Scholar athlete is Maddie Steer. Maddie's a junior on the women's water polo team. Not only competes for Michigan, but also for the Australian national team. Although the transition here was tough, Maddie fell in love with Michigan in chemistry, majoring in biomolecular science. Her success in the classroom has led her to academic All-Big Ten this year. Keep making us proud, Maddie. Fans, listen up for a win-win offer from Arby's. Michigan scores 70 or more points and wins today's ball game. Just mention Arby's win-win promotion at any participating Arby's location tomorrow to receive a free slider. We'd like to thank our Blue Crew Anthem Buddies for participating in today's game. For groups interested in being a part of the Anthem Buddies, visit mgoblue.com.
I can hit that trick, so I'm not. Do it. We're all really bad, but you're terrible. I don't think we have this. We're all very bad. If I can guess, I'm picking one of the freshmen, and I'm going to pick Brandon. I say, I kind of get yeah. Charles sings the most?
Yeah, I don't know if he's the best singer, but he sings the most.
That's for sure.
I think I'm the best. I think I can sing.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
I don't know how you feel about that.
I'm pretty much now.
I'll say Eli again, because I was just really last year. So that's all the first thing.
Oh, Luke. Yeah. Luke. Did you get a lot of those too? Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson.
Oh my gosh. Open his locker and something.
Let's welcome back to the floor, your Michigan Wolverines!
All right, we are back here for the second half of action between the Michigan Wolverines and the Binghamton Bearcats. The score after the first half, Michigan 34, Binghamton 29. I'm Alex Drain, joined by Max Cohen now for the second half of action. About 2.5 minutes until we get this second half going. What were your biggest observations in that first half?
My biggest observations in that half, Alex, were Binghamton came to play and they are ready for the threat that Michigan has, and they were really ready on the defensive end. They forced Michigan to pretty much take mid-range shots, force them to the basket. Michigan was putting up threes. They were making them, as opposed to last game against Air Force, and that's why they were able to kind of stay in the game. They were trailing for a little bit. They had a 5-minute scoring drought. Now they're up 5. But Binghamton defensively has really impressed me so far. They're forcing Michigan to not get in situations they like, not drive towards the basket, and limiting most open perimeter shots. And another big takeaway from the other side of the ball on Binghamton is every time you see Michigan try a fast break and then, you know, they don't convert on that chance, Binghamton will slow it down. Their main goal offensively in this game is to make it as slow as possible, because what Michigan does well is play defense, get turnovers, and their offense really excels in transition. And Binghamton has done a great job so far not turning it over. They have 6 through the first half, really good against a very, very good defensive team in Michigan. They're doing a great job on the boards, even as an undersized team. It's been a good effort from Binghamton all around. Their leading scorer, Sam Sessoms, only has 3 today so far, I believe. And, you know, he's going to need to step up if they want to stay in this game for the second half. But they're a team full of athletic guys that, you know, are intense and want to get after the ball and will drive relentlessly against a bigger Michigan team. It is fun to watch Binghamton play.
Yeah, in the first half, the leaders are Stewart with 10 points for Binghamton, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. Poole with 12 points, 4 of 7 from the field and 4 of 7 from 3. He attempted no twos. Second highest scorer is Barnard for Binghamton, who hit that spectacular three-pointer at the buzzer. And he's got 9. Brzdakis with 7 for the Wolverines, 3 of 7 from the field. He's struggled at times, looked hesitant with the ball inside. Him and Teskey have had those issues in the first half, but Michigan led after the first half. Binghamton is 0 for 6 all-time versus top 5 opponents. Binghamton trying to snap that here today against the number 2 Wolverines, who are the highest-ranked opponents that Binghamton has ever played.
Yes, and Binghamton, although they are trailing, they have doubled their last first half points from the last time they met Michigan in, what, 2012?
2012, yeah.
2012. 14 points Michigan held Binghamton in the first half. So huge improvement for them, only a 5-point game. Looking to cut the lead immediately, make Michigan not get their bench in, get comfortable, keep playing hard.
We got a full 20 on the clock, and we're about ready to start this second half of action. The Bearcats have the possession arrow. Michigan won the opening tip, and there was not a single tied-up ball in that first half. It was a very clean and very fast first half. Very few stoppages, only 7 total fouls, and as a result, we're already getting the second half started at 12:55. Sessoms with the ball, passes it over to Caleb Stewart. Stewart dish to Everson Davis. Schau to Caldwell, who drives inside, bumped by Teskey, lost the ball, got it back. His shot off the mark, nice rebound from Simpson. Both teams have been sound on the defensive glass. Simpson inside to Matthews, that shot off the heel. Teskey tips it around, nice job to get it back out to Matthews, who has an opportunity to drive if he wants it, but he chooses not to. Simpson to Teskey, to Poole, back to Simpson. Brzdakis inside, throws on the brakes. Matthews dribbles in, going to the rack, blocked. And rebound for Stewart. I believe it was he who got his hands on the ball.
And Binghamton forcing Michigan to drive into traffic there, not get a perimeter shot they want.
Barnard hands it off to Sessoms, who's double team, now kicks. Davis, nice shot, and he sticks it. Forced to take a tough jumper, open, but not an easy one, and he knocks it down. Binghamton, to their credit, has knocked down just about every open look they've gotten in this game. Poole to Simpson, back to Poole. Brzdakis outside. Open look for 3 from Poole. He knocks it down. 5th three-pointer of the game and his 15th point to put Michigan up 37-31.
Jordan Poole has his mind on one thing today, and it's 3-point attempts. 5 for 8 on the day.
He's been jacking them up today and making them at a high percentage. Barnard gives it to Sessoms, who throws inside and A bad pass, but Barnard draws a foul. Brzdakis takes the foul.
Silly foul there by Brzdakis inside. Didn't really need to put his arms around him there, but gives up the foul. Now baseline opportunity for Binghamton.
Michigan's been trying to shut off the Binghamton attack in the second half by double teaming Sessoms. They forced an errant pass there, but not able to come away with it. Stewart trying to body Matthews, who does a great job to get his hand on the ball, out of bounds, off Binghamton.
Good defense there from Matthews, laying off, not biting on any fakes. Thrown by Stewart there, letting him get off balance and put up a bad shot.
Simpson to Poole, who holds it just a few paces in front of the big block M. Goes inside to Matthews. He's got an open look. His jumper off the mark and grabbed down the rebound by J.C. Shao. Sessoms goes right around the defense, lays it in. That's a very lazy defensive effort there from Michigan.
Yeah, good job by Sessoms there to recognize that nobody was really hustling on the defensive end for Michigan, and just easy drive there for the 2 points.
Beats Michigan right down the court and lays it in, and still only a 4-point game. Michigan just never been able to pull away. Simpson drives inside his floater off the mark, but he got hacked. So he'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Michigan did not attempt many free throws in that first half, just 1 for 3 total. Matthews was 1 for 2 at the line. Livers missed his only attempt, and that was it for Michigan. So Simpson gets attempt number 4, and he hits his first. Entered this game at a dismal 41.2%.
And these break games, these two lesser opponents than your conference, you want to see Simpson improve at the line here when he gets the opportunities, which he does. Makes both free throws at the line, puts Michigan up 6, 39-33 Michigan.
Simpson 2 for 2 from the line to start the game. Michigan now 3 of 5 on the game. Bernard with the ball tries to get it to Sessoms. Simpson hounding him. Now doubled. There's that little double, and they back off for a second. Sessoms tries to go back to the basket. Gives it to Everson Davis, who lost the ball. It's on the floor, but Michigan couldn't scoop it up. 5 on the shot clock. Sessoms has got to hurry. Nice job by Simpson to stay in front of him, and Sessoms throws it up. No. Off the mark. Binghamton had a second attempt, couldn't put it in. Now Simpson quickly down the other way. Swatted. Nice block there from Caleb Stewart. Now here comes Binghamton the other direction. J.C. Shao dribbles inside, puts it up, and he got a foul on Brzdakis, who now has picked up 2 very quickly in this half. Livers is now into the game as Matthews got the hook. 2 of 9 in the game for Charles Matthews.
Binghamton hasn't shown it much today, but they're currently 3rd in the nation in blocks, averaging 6.5 per game, and they only have 1 today. And Michigan's going to have to be wary of that in the second half, as they're forcing them to drive to the basket.
J.C. Shao gets 2 free throw attempts. He makes his first. He's the best free throw shooter on the team at 85%. Shao makes them both. Not super smooth looking shot, but he gets them both to go. He was the hero in Binghamton's last second win over LIU Brooklyn in their most recent game.
I saw that buzzer beater on SportsCenter. It was a crazy shot.
Simpson outside, Poole. Cross Brzdakis drives, baseline, his little floater off the mark, tipped around inside, trying to corral it, and Binghamton grabs it down. Up they come the other direction. J.C. Shao hands it off Everson Davis, and they're going to say a blocking foul on Michigan.
It looked like Davis put his shoulder down there a little bit to initiate the contact, but got to go with what the refs call, and only a 4-point game. Michigan still hasn't pulled away. Binghamton playing well, doing what they did in the first half, keeping the game in the pace they wanted. There's not that many transition opportunities for Michigan. Binghamton also hitting their open shots, that helps. And just making Michigan uncomfortable. Michigan's had these free throw line extended looks all game, these mid-range shots, and just haven't really been able to capitalize on what Binghamton has been giving them. And what Binghamton has been giving them, though, is Michigan's weakness. So you do have to give Binghamton credit. It's a great game plan coming into the game to really force a good team out of its shell and try to play a game it's not used to.
Michigan 9 of 26 on the game from 2-point, 6 of 11 from 3.
And Michigan had a bad three-point shooting game last game, I would say. So you see that's averaging out here in this game, and they're shooting very well from beyond the arc. That's why they're up, but it usually can't last. And you can't be shooting 9 of 26 from inside the three-point line.
Well, and it's really been concentrated between a couple of folks. Brisdakis, 2 of 7 on 2s. Teskey, 2 of 6 on 2s. Matthews, 2 of 9 on 2s. It's those three who have gotten a wealth of open looks inside. And really the common theme is that a timidity and a refusal to really drive. They just keep settling for awkward-looking either shots or fadeaways or floaters.
Mm-hmm. They had a few good possessions in the first half where a couple very good backdoor cuts, one from Livers that ended in, really probably the first time Michigan got into the paint all game with a great dunk. The end of that possession in the first half. They're going to need to find more of these open cutting lanes behind Binghamton, set screens, get to the basket. And whoever are the big guys down there on the floor right now, Simpson, Poole, Livers, Teskey, and Brisdakis for Michigan, it's a big lineup. They need to try to force and get towards the basket, get paint points.
Sessoms to do the inbounding as there was a foul on Brisdakis, who's still out there for the Wolverines. No one really in foul trouble. Bernard to Sessoms' corner. Simpson hounding him. Now they do the double, and there's the takeaway. That's exactly what Michigan wanted to force. A steal for Simpson, and he brings it up, throws underneath. Brisdakis right there, lays it off the window. 41-35. Michigan very aggressive, trying to cut off the passing lanes. Bernard hands it off to Sessoms. There's yet another double where Teskey was coming out to help. Stewart to Sessoms. Guarded by Poole, 5 on the shot clock. Underneath, laying it up and laying it in. Nice acrobatic from Bernard. He's made just about everything Michigan has given him. 5 of 7 from the field in this contest. Simpson kicks to Poole, open for 3, and it goes.
I think Poole saw the Warrior Scout walk into the building this morning.
Yeah, he is just absolutely drilling him, shot after shot. Poole attempted all 9 of his shots from beyond the arc, and he's made 6 of them. Sessoms guarded by Simpson. Runs into trouble, and then has to dump it off to Davis. Step back jumper, and it drops.
And those are the shots for Michigan's defense you want Binghamton to be taking. They've been hitting those all day. Can't do much about them. Come back on the other end. Gotta get points.
Binghamton up to 47% from the field. Poole open for 3 again. Jumps around, and Brisdakis gets the rebound. His jumper from the key is off the mark. Brisdakis now 3 of 9 on 2s. Still 44-39 Michigan. Outside, Sessoms tries to go around the defenders, and he does. Kicks to the corner for Stewart. Guarded by Poole, who strips it. It's loose on the floor, and it goes out of bounds off Teskey. Man, oh man. Michigan really have trouble corralling those loose balls, whether it's on the rebounds in the offensive end or loose balls on the floor when they're stripping.
Yeah, there are a lot of slippery hands on the floor today. And Michigan just not a lot of energy, not a lot of focus, it looks like. At least to start off a half where only leading by 5 against Binghamton, you think they would come out trying to expand their lead.
3 on the shot clock. Sessoms throws it up off the heel, and they're going to get an over the back on Isaiah Livers.
Great positioning there by Caleb Stewart for Binghamton. Just put Livers on his back hip, forced Livers to jump over him, and got the foul.
So Sessoms to inbound to Everson Davis. Gets it over to J.C. Schau. Caleb Stewart hands it off to Schau. Michigan didn't look like they knew who had the ball, but the shot off the mark, and Teskey grabs the rebound. Simpson gets a little screen, throws it up, looking for Isaiah Livers, but the pass and the alley-oop behind him, out of bounds off Michigan. Still 44-39 Wolverines, who've committed 6 turnovers on 40% shooting as well. But that high number of three-pointers has kept them in the lead. Bernard inside, great defense from Teskey, who got a swat on it, but then Binghamton, the offensive rebound and an easy lay-in.
Strong finish there from Everson Davis. Went right at Teskey and got it to go in.
The crowd now trying to coax the Wolverines to show signs of life. A team that largely just can't do anything right now except watch Jordan Poole make threes. Here's Livers, and he knocks it in.
And there's the shot you've had all day, the free throw line, open elbow shot. This time Livers knocks it down.
Binghamton now back on offense. Bernard outside to Sessoms. Splits the defenders, and Sessoms inside, and he throws it up.
That's
and
that All-American, McDonald's All-American guard right there.
Acrobatic play there from Sessoms to cut the lead back to 3. Matthews to Livers. Open look from the key. Was in and out. And Binghamton with the rebound. They've got an opportunity to tie here on the offensive end. Down just 3 points. Sessoms in trouble, lost it, but managed to get it back. Once again, Binghamton really corralling the loose balls. Davis drives inside, step back jumper, off the mark. That's the kind of shot that Binghamton you'd expect to make given the way they've shot on some contested looks today. Poole goes around his defender inside, bounce pass, Matthews for the jam.
Great play by Poole there to push the ball down. When he has the ball, defenses think he's going to take the 3. Nice head fake, drive, dump it off to Matthews.
5-point Michigan lead, 48-43. J.C. Schau inside, kicks around Everson Davis, blocked by Matthews, and then a foul is called. The crowd not a fan of that one.
I think one of the big factors that why Binghamton's in this game too is how deep their coach runs their lineup. It's usually 9-10 men deep with I think nine players averaging over 10 minutes a game. Not something you see a ton. Everybody is constantly rotating. In Michigan, a team that pretty much is usually held to mostly 7 guys, sometimes 8. They might be their bodies might be tired with constant fresh limbs coming in, knocking them down. And you see what Binghamton's been doing is going at Michigan. 1, on the offensive end, driving the ball, getting a lot of points in the paint, and 2, forcing Michigan to make contact on the offensive end. They have to drive in. Michigan's putting up a lot of, as you said earlier, ugly shots, Alex. Weird layups, weird jumpers that they don't like, and I think that's one of the factors that's played into this game and why it's only a 5-point lead is just the constant freshness that Binghamton can put out on the court.
Well, and the interesting thing is that Michigan really being kept afloat by 2 players, and that is Livers and Poole. Poole 6 of 10 from the field, Livers 4 of 5. Those two combined really good today.
And Livers had a great game against Air Force too. Really, really good 2 games during break. You love to see that from Livers, who, you know, at going into this season with Brasdakis coming in as a Michigan fan, you weren't sure the exact role Livers was gonna bring to the team, but now you see he's bringing valuable minutes off the bench, and in these 2 games where he's played well, John Teskey has not played great at all for the Wolverines, and I think that's one possibility Beeline might look at after these games, even though they're not Big Ten opponents and they are smaller teams. But you might want to look at smaller lineups going forward, because Livers brings, you know, that speed to the court where you can get out in transition. You've seen him with a couple dunks today, some awesome dunks. One plays that can really change the momentum of a game, and Teskey brings that defensively. We see that, but when Beeline takes you out for the fouls and Teskey's constantly rotating out for this, he can never get it in that groove, like Nick said in the first half. So I don't know what it is moving forward. You see Livers playing a lot of minutes in these 2 games, but you like to see all the talent from Michigan.
48-43 Wolverines, 10:32 remaining.
At the line is shooting 2 for the Bearcats, number 22, Everson Davis.
Everson Davis at the line, shooting 2. He's a 58% free throw shooter, and that first one way too strong off the heel. And the second attempt for Davis is a little short. Brasdakis with the rebound. It's the small ball lineup out there now for Michigan. Livers at the 5, and Brooks as a guard. He's in some trouble, has to pass it out to Brasdakis. Back to Brooks. Livers in the key, hounded, kicks, baseline, Matthews off the mark, tipped around, and out of bounds off the Wolverines.
Another opportunity there where the Wolverines can't capitalize on an open shot.
Matthews, in contrast to many of Binghamton's players, just cannot buy a shot today. 3 of 11 from the field, and I know at least one of his makes was a dunk. Sessoms guarded by Matthews. Around Everson Davis to J.C. Shao, back to Davis. Bernard, 5 on the shot clock. This is something Binghamton's had problems with. 2 seconds, throw it down low, and he didn't get the shot away.
Great defense there from Michigan. Great active hands for not letting any passes go through and force the shot clock violation.
Brooks to Matthews, back to Brooks, inside. Matthews, open shot, pops in and pops out. Livers tries to grab the open rebound, but again, Michigan, their hands are very hard today, not corralling anything. And we got a timeout by the Bearcats with 9:07 remaining. Matthews now 3 of 12 from the field.
He couldn't believe it after that miss. He was shaking his head as he ran back down the court. And it just might be one of those days for Matthews. And on one of those days, you need to see what else works. When your game, when what they're giving you isn't working, how can you change it up? And obviously Matthews at the free throw line for Michigan isn't working. He's 3 of 12, not hitting his. Then they're open shots too. They're not contested.
Oh yeah.
They're they're giving these to Matthews. He's just not hitting them. He can't be there anymore. He's got to move. He's got to be cutting towards the basket, playing like his athletic self does, get above the rim. He can't hit a shot today.
Yeah, Matthews has had open looks all game long and just really out of sorts. He's 3 of 12, and Brzdakis at 4 of 10 hasn't been a whole lot better.
Still a 5-point game.
It's an odd game because it's never really felt like Binghamton's ever actually been close to taking the lead or really in it. Michigan's been able to comfortably be up between 3 and 7 points the entire game.
Which is weird, but I think that's what happens when you have a really good defense. You're never going to give up a 10-0 run, 10-0, 12-0, whatever run that like you can afford those 5-minute scoring droughts in the first half that Michigan had, and you can afford having Charles Matthews, one of your best players, shoot 25% today. While Binghamton is on fire from inside the three-point line.
And I was talking to Nick in the first half that it is very easy to be complacent in these break games, and it is not just a Michigan thing. I mean, just yesterday, Iowa beat Bryant by only 5. Wisconsin lost to Western Kentucky. Princeton beat Arizona State.
St. John's lost.
St. John's lost to Ohio State. Really struggled in the first half of their game against High Point. I mean, this is a pretty common thing among teams to just not be in the same level of freshness.
And, I don't know how much you can blame them. They're on break. You force them to come here, play, but, you have to. That's what the schedule says. And
Michigan, quick takeaway. Simpson brings it up the floor. Oh, boy. Looks like Livers went flying down on the baseline. Brooks tried to find Brzdakis, but once again, Binghamton's been great getting their hands in the lane. So Michigan will have to inbound. Simpson to do the job. Kicks it out. Brzdakis, open look, but he decides to drive instead. His floater off the mark, and Livers had trouble with the offensive rebound. Finally does get it on the second attempt. Michigan will get a fresh 30. Brooks into the key. Brzdakis goes to the rack, lays it up, kiss the glass, count it, and a foul.
And there's Michigan's first points in almost 2.5 minutes, making the lead 7. Strong take from Iggy, something you really haven't seen all day from him while he's been settling for those weird layup jumpers inside the paint.
Brzdakis at the free throw line. And it rims out. He just has really not had it shooting today. 78% free throw shooter misses that free throw, and then Binghamton just throws it away. Careless turnover by the Bearcats.
And a big turnover. 7-point game here. Michigan can push it to double digits, and I would say they could maybe break away here. You don't want to give that careless of a turnover at this point in the game.
Simpson to Brooks, back to Simpson. Poole outside. Brzdakis is in the key. They get it to him. This is where he's been all game long. His offhand lay-in, no, but it tipped around. Looked like Isaiah Livers got his hand on that one. Michigan now up 9, which I believe is their largest lead of the contest. Binghamton hasn't scored in almost 4 minutes. Sessoms to Schau. They go into the post. Stewart's got a height advantage over Brooks, but his floater and his hook off the mark. Simpson tries to save it, and he does. And then he goes into the first row there. Simpson goes baseline to Poole. Outside Brooks, they find Simpson. He's open. Inside, Livers back to the basket. Off the window, and it goes. Michigan now up 54-43 on an 8-0 run. 7:31 remaining, and we got a timeout. by the Bearcats.
Livers today, 6 of 7 for 12 points, 2 boards, 2 assists. Huge game for him. Just solid off the bench in only 18 minutes. You know, he's been, like you said, him and Poole, they've been the guys that have stepped up today. They've hit their shots. You can depend on them. And on this 8-0 scoring run, what has Michigan been doing? Attacking the basket, putting the pressure on Binghamton where they were forcing Michigan away from. They're going towards the basket. Livers got some second chance points there. Michigan with the 11-point lead. Just like that.
(54-43) Wolverines. Binghamton hasn't scored in the last 4 minutes and 18 seconds. Over that span, Michigan on an 8-0 run to take their largest lead of the game, 11 points. When Michigan basketball comes back after the new year, they'll have a home game against Penn State this coming Thursday, and then a home game against Indiana on the Sunday afterward. So it really gets into the full force of the Big Ten schedule. Michigan started the season 2-0 in Big Ten play and down to 12-0 at this point, trying to match or exceed their best starts in program history, which was 16-0 in the 2012-2013 season and the 85-86 season.
One of the few unbeatens left in the NCAA.
One of just 4, alongside Virginia, Houston, and Nevada after St. John's lost last night.
Coach Yaklich giving Livers some advice there right before they go out on the court. You know, always got to have defense in the mind. Even though every player wants to get their threes up, get their points, got to stay defensively sound to win games.
Simpson, by the way, 8 rebounds and 8 assists, which he could get a potential double-double with just 2 points if he continues to dish out the dimes and get the rebounds. That pass inside and stolen by Michigan. Brooks takes it away. He leads the charge. Livers, open 3. Little strong. And it goes into the corner. The rebound by Binghamton.
I think the Michigan bench wanted that to go in more than Livers.
Bearcats just holding it. Bernard. Richard Caldwell and Sessoms just kind of passing it around now to J.C. Shao. 10 on the shot clock. Tries to get around Livers. Inside. Great defense from Isaiah Livers. That sure looked like a potential travel. Simpson gets the rebound. That's rebound number 9 for the point guard. Going around the screen from Livers. Gets it to him. He's got another open 3. Got it!
This time he will knock it down.
Livers hits it, and Michigan up 57-43. Outside Stewart, over to Richard Caldwell. Hands it off to the talented point guard Sessoms. They go inside. Open look opportunity off the window, and a foul on Livers. Bernard is the one.
Michigan fouls number 2, Jordan Poole. His second personal, team 6th. Checking in for the Bearcats, 22, Emerson Davis.
So Bernard will get a free throw as Davis checks in and Caldwell goes back out.
Number 2, Bernard at the line.
Mistake there from the Wolverines. You don't want to be giving Binghamton any free points at this point in the game, especially when they already have a free layup.
And Bernard hits it. He's just a 50% free throw shooter. Line drive free throw that goes home. And Binghamton's clawed back to 57-46 with 6 minutes remaining in the contest. Simpson across to Eli Brooks. Back to Simpson, to Isaiah Livers. Poole. Simpson. 8 on the shot clock. Goes around the screen from Livers. Kicks. Brzdakis on the wing. And he hits it. Brzdakis now 2 of 2 from 3. Michigan 9 for 16 on the game from 3. 60-46 Wolverines. Driving inside is Sessoms, flips it way out. And offensive foul. They're going to get Shao for the charge.
And when you can't buy a shot inside the three-point line, you will take going 56% from beyond the arc today. Jordan Poole and Isaiah Livers, 33 of Michigan's 60 points with 5:20 left in this game.
Simpson with the ball. He's now up to 10 assists. He just needs one more rebound for the 2-point double-double.
That's not something you see every day, is it?
Brzdakis open 3, and he hits it. And the shots are starting to rain. Michigan up 17 points. In the corner, Simpson with the strip. He's on the floor. It's kicked around. Brooks trying to pick it up. I think they're going to say a tied ball, which will go to Michigan, unless Binghamton managed to call a timeout. And they say it is a held ball. Possession arrow favors the Wolverines. Because this is the first held ball of the game. And Michigan won the opening tip. Binghamton got it afterwards. And now we got a review going on. I'm not sure what they're looking at. Simpson got his hands in there and started to try and claw the ball free. It was loose on the floor. 2 Bearcats laying on top of each other.
Yeah.
And then Brooks came over to try and wrestle it away. And someone got their hands in there and ended up being, it seemed like a clear held ball, but I'm not sure what this review is about.
Little confusing, but over the last minute, Michigan on a 6-0 run, and you saw what they're reviewing on this play. Why active hands? Just defense, arms moving, hands moving, getting in the passing lanes, not letting Binghamton just pass it to where they want to. They are putting the pressure on, not something they were doing, and the lead extended to 17 kind of just like that. As the Lions score against the Packers.
Yeah. Opening touchdown there. Make it 7-0.
Me and Alex are Lions fans.
It's one of those tough things today because, you know, it's high incentive to lose and get a better draft pick. On the other hand, I will never not cheer for the Lions against the Packers.
I'm fully on the, I'm a Lions fan today. I want them to win this game. Anytime against the Packers.
Especially because it would make it 4 straight wins over the Packers.
It would be awesome. love the Lions. This replay is taking long.
Yeah, this is taking forever. Now we got the referees. 3 of them conferring.
Really looking like it was in question. Like a lot happened that play and something's in question, but it looked pretty simple. I believe they're saying it's Binghamton's ball.
I think they're going to get a technical. They're calling a flagrant foul on Simpson. He must have done something in that dog pile of players. First free throw is off the mark for Richard Caldwell. And the referee's still talking about something.
And he's going back.
And he's going to get a second shot. The crowd continuing to boo, and the Michigan players, all 5 of them, yelling at the referees. Referee conferring with Binghamton's coach, Tommy Dempsey.
And they're still having a conversation.
The 2 referees now just utterly confused on what to do. So the held ball apparently just didn't matter. A flagrant with 2 shots in the ball. I don't know what Simpson did. I mean, he must have kicked somebody in the face, you'd have to think. I mean, it had to have been brutal. Sessoms with the ball, hands it to Stewart. Now Sessoms jacks up the 3. It's short, and Livers grabs the rebound.
Cool with the ball up top. Off to Simpson. Brooks. Back to Simpson.
Yeah, they're all kind of passing it around, hesitant to take yet another 3 inside. Brzdakis lays it in.
And there you go. Brzdakis in the second half of the second half, finally realizing going towards the basket will probably result in points.
65-47. Stewart drives inside. Shot off the mark, rebounded by Brooks. Binghamton hasn't made a field goal in forever. Their 1 point to snap their scoring drought was a free throw. Now it's out of bounds off Michigan. And wow, we predicted it correctly. We're being told that Simpson kicked him in the face is what got the flagrant.
You can't do that in basketball. But yeah, quickly, Michigan kind of just takes an 18-point lead. A quick run spurred by, energy on the offensive end, relentlessness for going to the basket, finally shown from Iggy Brzdakis, especially there. And good defense, active hands, not giving up. And Binghamton forcing some bad shots on that last possession there. Stewart put up a funky shot with his left hand, it looked like, something he did not want to do. Michigan's pretty much just locked down since the 8-minute timeout of the second half.
Yeah, it's really been an impressive run. Binghamton, as we said, no field goals in the last 2:31, and I mean, it feels like they have 1 or 2 points over about an 8-minute span.
And in these 2 break games, Michigan has failed to go to the free throw line a ton. Today they only have 6 attempts at the free throw line. They're averaging 9 made per game, and you have to wonder. And I think it is part of what you brought up earlier. This lack of focus and just kind of wanting to play during these break games. You see the energy isn't there, and one of the factors of why is those free throws. You're not attempting a lot, you're not going to the basket, you just want to put up these 3-point shots, and today they are going in. 10 of 17 from beyond the arc. Michigan is. Cool, 6 of 10 field goals, 6 of 10 from 3.
Yeah.
He will not take a shot inside the 3-point line.
So Binghamton inbounds out of the timeout, 3:35 to go in the contest. Starters all still out there for Michigan with the exception of Brooks and Livers in for Matthews and Teskey. They've been small balling it for a while. Pass inside, stripped by Livers. Nice rekindle, though, by Caleb Stewart to get it back and put it in. He has 12. Bernard has 14. Those are the 2 scorers. 65-49. Wolverines. Brzdakis open jumper. Nope. And kicked around. Rebound by Michigan. Brzdakis corrals his own miss after a little help from Isaiah Livers. Simpson dribbles inside. Kick. Poole, inside, floater, off the heel, no, but Brzdakis the tip in.
There's Poole's first attempt from inside the arc. Couldn't go down. Brzdakis, good job to tip it back in.
Caldwell guarded by Brooks. Pump fake outside Stewart, and we're going to have a blocking foul called on Brzdakis, which will be the third on Brzdakis, team 8th, which puts Binghamton at the free throw line. John Beeline yelling something. I think it was in the direction of the referee. It'll be 1-1 for Caleb Stewart, who's a 70.6% free throw shooter entering the game. Makes the first.
Taking it for the Bearcats, number 4, Timmy Rose.
Timmy Rose checks in for Binghamton. Stewart second off the mark. Rebounded down by Isaiah Livers. Simpson bounce pass. Livers up to Brooks. Brooks pass over to Simpson. 2:17 remaining. And we're going to have a foul on Livers for a moving screen. Boy, after a pretty clean first half, a lot of fouls here in this second half. And out goes Simpson, so we won't get the magical double-double as David DeJulius checks in for the Wolverines. 2:10 remaining. 3 from way downtown and way off the mark to the corner. Binghamton tries to save it. Sure looked like he was out of bounds. Didn't matter anyway. Poole gets the rebound, dribbles inside, kicks to Livers. He's going to go aggressively to the hole. Floater off the window. And it goes 69-50. Wolverines.
Jordan Poole and Isaiah Livers have played a great two-man game today on the pick and roll.
Show inside, flips it up, way off the mark. Livers the rebound. Binghamton was projected by Ken Palm to get 48 points in this game. They've got 50, but it's really so close because of how much of a dominant second half defensively this has been from Michigan. Finally tightening things up, and Beeline calls a timeout to get some subs in. Livers comes off, and Johns comes in. Brzdakis goes off, and Nunez comes in. And I think we got a couple more subs. Here comes Colin Castleton. Michigan's got six
guys on the court.
Michigan's got 6 players on the court.
Most definitely has 6 players on the court.
Castleton, Johns, Brooks, DeJulius, Poole, and Nunez are all in the game.
Someone didn't know to not sub in or to sub out. Jordan Poole didn't want to come out of the game. He wanted to keep putting up the threes, but got to make time for those freshmen. Now Binghamton will have a technical free throw attempted by Leo Gallagher.
He makes it. That was an most awkward looking free throw I've ever seen, and he'll get a second one. Michigan, very odd.
Just a brain fart there from the entire team.
Gallagher, by the way, and I was loving this last night, Gallagher is 5'10", 150 pounds.
Oh.
He looks like a 7th grader on the court.
He does. Yeah. He's quite small.
DeJulius inside to Johns. Baseline Castleton. Lost it, gets it back. Brooks in the corner. Sure looked like he went up and down there. Brooks open 3, and he drains it. One minute to go in regulation, and a very goofy last 5 minutes of action between Binghamton and Michigan. Gallagher with the ball. And had it lost at corner. Oh boy, and a block there. Johns tried to save it. Now they throw it away. Loose on the floor. DeJulius gets it back. He's off to the races. Lays it up and lays it in. Lord almighty, these last 90 seconds are the Keystone Cops right now.
It's what happens when both teams empty their bench in these break games.
Calvin Pulino was the one who attempted that three. He's a big boy.
Said to be the best three-point shooter on Binghamton.
Now he's got it inside, and he throws up a wild hook off the mark. Castleton corrals the rebound. So Michigan is going to win this one by 22, which is very strange how close it was in the middle of the second half to win by 22. But Michigan turns on the Jets, and the horn sounds. Final score, Wolverines 74, Binghamton 52. A very fast game completed in about an hour and 40 minutes. Few stoppages. Michigan earns the W. Odd way to get it. And certainly a strange second half that Michigan wins 40-23. They really slammed the door. Binghamton 1 of 7 in their last field goals over their last 4. No field goals in their final 3-18. And really, in that last about 8 minutes, all of their points were off bizarre free throws. One off a flagrant and one off a too many men technical.
Yeah, Michigan really locked down in the latter part of the second half there defensively. And when that happens for them, good things happen offensively. Good defense leads to good offense for this team. You're happy with the win. I don't know how happy you are if you're John Beilein with these 2 break performances. You did get 2 big, ended up being big final score wins, but your whole team didn't play the best. Today, you pretty much had 3 people carrying you, and Brasdeikis scored probably 9 or 10 of his 21 late in the second half when the game was around double digits and getting out of hand. So it was mostly Brasdeikis, Poole, and Livers today. Brasdeikis with 21, Poole with 18, Livers with 17. You love the performances from them. You need to get better team performances moving forward, especially with Big Ten play coming up. But you will take the wins when it's all said and done.
Always take the win. Michigan advances to 13-0 and number 2 in the country in the polls. Binghamton falls to 4-10. Our final score from Chrysler, Michigan 74, Binghamton 52. We are going to have the next game on Thursday. It'll be me and Jeremy Parks here against Penn State. And then the Sunday afterwards, we'll have Michigan and Indiana. Those are the next 2 coming up. Until then, for WCBN Sports, Nick Hornberg, Max Cohen, Alex Drain, good night, and go Blue.